In the sunniest corner of Meadowville lived three best friends who couldn't be more different, yet fit together like puzzle pieces. There was Max, whose heart beat for adventure and whose spirit was as bright as his fiery red hair. Then there was Lila, the calm and clever one, who could find the answer to any question hidden in the pages of a book. And finally, there was Toby, the lovable, slightly clumsy friend with a heart of gold, who could make anyone laugh even on the grumpiest of days. One rainy afternoon, while exploring Max's grandpa's dusty attic, they stumbled upon something extraordinary. Tucked away in an old wooden chest was a book unlike any they had ever seen. Its cover was made of shimmering leather, and a single, golden clasp held it shut. With a click, Max opened it, and a soft, warm light spilled out, filling the dim attic. Inside, the pages were filled with swirling, handwritten script and beautiful, intricate drawings. But it wasn't a storybook. It was a map, a secret map leading to the legendary treasure of Shining Fruits, hidden deep within the Whispering Woods. Max's eyes widened with excitement. A real treasure hunt! Can you believe it? Lila leaned in closer, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Look at these symbols," she murmured, tracing a drawing of a smiling sun and a laughing river. "This isn't just any map, it's magical." Toby, meanwhile, was already packing an imaginary backpack. "I'll bring the snacks," he declared, tripping over an old rocking horse and landing in a pile of soft blankets. He popped his head up, covered in dust bunnies, and grinned. "See, I'm already prepared for a soft landing." The friends burst into laughter. The adventure had already begun. The next morning, with the sun shining brightly, the trio set off for the Whispering Woods. The magical book was safely tucked in Lila's backpack, and Max led the way, his steps full of confidence. The forest was even more enchanting than the legends described. Sunlight filtered through the tall trees, creating dancing patterns on the mossy ground. Birds sang melodies that sounded like tiny, happy bells. "Okay, Lila," Max said. "What's the first clue?" Lila opened the book. It says, "Where squirrels play hide and seek, and secrets they cheekily keep. Follow their chatter, climb the big stone, a path will be shown." As if on cue, a flurry of chattering squirrels dashed past them, each with a shiny acorn in its cheeks. They scurried up a giant moss-covered boulder that stood like a silent guardian in their path. The squirrels seemed to be playing a game, zipping around and peeking out from behind the rock. Toby, trying to befriend them, held out a crumb from his pocket. "Hello, little fellas. Want a snack?" But the squirrels were too quick. One of them, a particularly mischievous one with a bushy tail, darted forward, snatched the entire cookie from Toby's hand, and scampered up the boulder, chattering triumphantly. "Hey, my cookie!" Toby cried, scrambling up the rock after it. Max and Lila laughed and followed him. From the top of the boulder, they could see a new path, one that was hidden from the ground below. It was a narrow trail winding deeper into the woods, exactly as the book had foretold. "Wow, Toby!" Max cheered. "Your cookie sacrifice revealed the way." Toby puffed out his chest proudly. "All part of the plan," he said with a wink, even though his stomach rumbled for its lost snack. The friends continued on their journey, feeling more excited than ever. Their next challenge wasn't far. The path led them to the edge of the Giggling Creek, a wide stream of water that chuckled and bubbled as it flowed over smooth, colorful stones. There was no bridge in sight. Lila turned a page in the magical book. To cross the creek where water hops, leap on stones that never stop, but choose the ones with mossy green for a safe and happy scene. Looking at the creek, they saw dozens of stepping stones, but only some of them had patches of bright green moss. The others were bare and looked slippery. Max went first, confidently hopping from one mossy stone to another. "It's easy, just like a game of hopscotch," he called back. Lila followed carefully, her eyes fixed on the green patches. Now it was Toby's turn. He took a deep breath and made his first leap. "I'm doing it," he shouted. He hopped to the next stone, then the next. But in his excitement, his foot landed on a smooth, bare stone instead of a mossy one. Whoosh! His foot slipped, and he pinwheeled his arms, trying to keep his balance. For a moment, it looked like he was about to take a splashy dive into the Giggling Creek. But just as he teetered on the edge, his backpack, which was a little overstuffed, swung to one side, shifting his weight. Miraculously, it swung him back onto the mossy stone, and he landed with a soft thud. He sat there for a second, wide-eyed, then broke into a huge grin. "See? I told you I'm good at soft landings." He laughed, patting his trusty backpack. Max and Lila, who had been holding their breath, let out sighs of relief before dissolving into giggles. Toby's clumsiness had once again, in its own weird way, saved the day. Safely across, they took a moment to catch their breath, the sound of the Giggling Creek accompanying their laughter. The forest grew thicker and the air filled with the sweet scent of flowers. They soon arrived at a clearing where 3 ancient, wise-looking oak trees stood in a circle. In the center was a small, stone pedestal. According to the map, this was the final challenge. Leela opened the book. The page read, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" The friends looked at each other, puzzled. Cities without houses, Max wondered aloud, scratching his head. Toby guessed, a toy box. Lila shook her head, a thoughtful smile on her face. She looked down at the map in her hands, at its drawings of cities, mountains, and rivers. "Wait a minute," she said slowly. "It has cities, mountains, and water, but they're not real. They're just pictures." Her eyes lit up. "It's a map," she exclaimed. "The answer is a map." As she spoke the word map, the stone pedestal in the center of the clearing began to glow. A soft humming sound filled the air, and a hidden compartment slid open. Inside, nestled on a bed of soft leaves, were 3 magnificent fruits. One was a pear that shone like the sun, another was a cluster of grapes that sparkled like amethyst, and the last was an apple that glowed with a gentle, ruby light. They were the treasure of shining fruits. The friends gasped in awe. They had done it. They carefully picked up the fruits. They didn't taste them, deciding instead to bring them back to show everyone in Meadowville. Their adventure wasn't just about finding the treasure, it was about the journey they had taken together. On their way back, they retraced their steps, laughing about the mischievous squirrels and Toby's wobbly creek crossing. Max's bravery, Leela's cleverness, and Toby's hilarious antics had been the perfect ingredients for their success. They learned that the best adventures aren't just about the prize at the end, but about the fun, the laughter, and the friendship you share along the way. And so, Max, Lila, and Toby returned to Meadowville, not just as friends, but as a legendary team of adventurers. They knew this was only the first of many magical journeys to come, and as long as they had each other, any challenge could be overcome with a little bit of courage, a little bit of cleverness, and a whole lot of laughter. Thank you so much for joining our little adventure today. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you enjoyed the story of Max, Lila, and Toby, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss their next exciting journey. We can't wait to see you again soon. Bye for now.